There's a moment in leadership when you realize something very uncomfortable. You are not running one company, you are managing several kingdoms, each with its own rules, each with its own borders, and each with its own power structures. And each ruled by a king who has forgotten who the company actually belongs to. Today's episode is about silos, power, and ego, and why leaders must never be afraid to confront the kings they inherit. When you step into the top job, CEO, president, or COO, you do not start with a clean slate. You actually inherit people, you inherit history, and you inherit power structures that have been quietly built over many years. In large organizations, especially global ones, something very specific happens over time. Each regional head becomes the king of his island. They control information, they control relationships, and they control results. But they also control the narratives. And because they have been there for years, and sometimes decades, they believe the space belongs to them, not to the company, and not to the strategy, to them. Silos do not survive by accident. They survive because they create power. Each king defends his territory fiercely. That's how we do things in my region. You do not understand our market. This will not work here. We are different. And slowly, collaboration dies. Instead of one unified company, you will get competing agendas, fragmented strategies, and inconsistent execution, internal politics, and personal empires. And when you try to align them, you're tested every single day. Because kings do not fear the strategy. They fear losing their control. As a leader, you quickly realize these kings are not interested in teamwork. They are interested in maintaining their kingdom. They measure success by the following: how indispensable they appear, how risky their absence feels, and how much leverage they can apply. They will challenge your authority, not openly at first, but slowly but surely. They test boundaries. They slow decisions. They undermine the alignment. And if you do not confront this early on, they will eventually run the company around you. One of those kings I inherited had mastered a very primitive but very effective weapon. A weapon he had used successfully for years with my predecessor. Whenever he did not get his way, he would do one very effective thing. He would threaten to resign. Because he had deep experience, historical knowledge, and control of a critical domain, the threat always worked. The logic was very simple. We cannot afford to lose him. So leadership would bend every time. And with every victory, his power grew stronger. Because here is the truth. A bluff only works if the other side is afraid. Eventually, the same threat was used on me. He did not get his way, That is certain. And he played his card. I will resign. And in that moment, I had a decision to make. Either I submit and lose control of the company forever, or I'll call the bluff and face the unknown. Because this is what kings rely on. Your fear of disruption, your fear of short-term pain, your fear of the unknown. And I realized something very clearly. If I back down once, I would be a hostage forever. So I did something he did not expect. I accepted his resignation. Immediately, calmly, professionally, without any drama. The shock on his face said it all. Because for the first time, the threat did not work. He had built his power on the assumption that leadership would always blink. This time, leadership did not. And yes, there was risk. Yes, there was uncertainty. But there was also a lot of clarity. I eventually replaced him with an executive who did not have decades of experience. But he had something far more important. He had the willingness to learn, the respect for teamwork. He had alignment with company objectives and leadership without ego. And something remarkable happened. The sky did not fall. The company did not collapse, and the region did not implode. In fact, performance improved. Because kingdoms do not drive companies forward. Only teams do. And that decision did something even bigger than operational improvement. It consolidated leadership authority. It sent a clear message across the organization: no one is bigger than the company itself. This experience taught me several critical leadership truths. Number one, silos are not operational problems, they are power problems. And power problem must be confronted, not negotiated endlessly. Number two, kings do not serve companies, they serve their kingdoms. Their ego and personal agendas will always come before the collective success. Number three, the resignation threats only work if you fear it. Once you remove fear, the bluff collapses. Number four, losing one powerful individual can save the entire organization. Short-term disruption is often the price of long-term health. And number five, leadership authority must be demonstrated, never assumed. The organization watches how you handle these moments in particular. If you're a leader listening to this, I want to be very clear. If you allow kings to rule their silos, you will never truly lead. They will challenge you, they will test you, and if you hesitate, they will control you. Leadership is not about avoiding confrontation. It is about choosing the right confrontation. Because the longer you wait, the stronger the kingdoms become. That day, when I accepted that resignation, I knew one thing. It was either that or submitting forever. And leadership does not exist in submission to ego. It exists in service to the company's future. So do not fear the kings. Fear what happens if you let them rule. Thank you for listening to Through the Journey. Every story shared is a reminder that growth never stops. And that's exactly what drives us at Intech Consultant, where our global experts help businesses grow, innovate, and transform. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode, and visit intechconsultant.com to learn more. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, keep pushing your journey ahead.